What is going on, guys? We are here to do a revamp of my nightblade build. So what we will be covering is the gear changes, the ability changes that we've gone through. For the most part, our champion points are still the same. Yes, we have gotten more, but they still are pretty much the same. Just putting your points in the same things. So if you have any questions, you can refer to my old nightblade build for my playstyle, why I'm using certain things. But this will just show you what I've changed, and I'll tell you why. But for the most part, this setup I'm running, for me, there's nothing I would change for it now. Like, this is the end of end for my build. Until next patch, obviously, which is, in 15 days. So then we will be farming new gear. But until then, I will go over my gear sets and show you what we've changed. So we've dropped bow completely now. We are no longer running bow. We have no need for it. We have started running dual wield because dual wield does have a ranged ability, flying blade. And if you morph it correctly, you're going to get a 35-meter range on that flying blade. And with my current setup, you can hit those flying blades for 8k a piece, and they're insta-casts. So it's really, really good. They destroy sword shields. They really put people on the defense if you catch somebody at range. So we are running 2 daggers with the Morag Tongue. We have reduced target's armor by 1,100 for 5 seconds, and then we have 500 poison damage on the other. They're both precise. That's what they come with. Our Hunting's Rage Sword, it is not part of a set. It's just there to buff. Keep rally up, get my regens up. That's all it's there for. We have equipped the Bloodspawn Visage. We're not running the 2-piece. We are just running the 1-piece. Reason being, you get 115 stamina recovery for 1 piece. So that is a huge benefit. And it is heavy armor, unfortunately, so we are going to continue to farm for it until we get medium. But until then, this is still very, very viable, especially with my build setup currently. We have dropped Hunting's Rage completely. We no longer need it. Same with air. We don't need air either, given the set bonuses from, Bloodspawn and Skirmisher. They both give stam recovery, so no need for air. And this gives more weapon damage, but the change with this is that you need to roll dodge. Every 5 seconds, or 4 or 5 seconds, you get a weapon damage increase by 415 and a weapon crit by 629 for 5 seconds. Now, I'm rolling every 5 seconds at least, so this buff is always on me when I'm in combat. And whether I'm dueling, whether I'm 1vxing, it's always up. So my damage is huge, 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 huge with this setup, and I love it. So we are running 5 pieces of that. And like I said, 1-piece Bloodspawn, and then 4-piece Morag Tongue. So we equip the bracers for the Morag Tongue and the necklace. That is another change. So we have 4 pieces, so we get that 2 sets of 171 weapon damage. And then for the 2 rings, we are still sticking with Band of the Shadow Walker. Reduce stam on all accessories. I always recommend that because it's going to reduce the cost of all your abilities. It'll help you, sustain yourself much longer. And I will show, we are still using drinks, consumables here. We are using the health and stam recovery only. We don't really need magic recovery. This doesn't require much. I don't really spam the crap out of invisibility like a lot of people do, so I don't drain magicka, rarely ever. We do use pots here and there, 1vx, we use tri-pots or immovability pots. If you're feeling, super risky and you're feeling like you got the build down, weapon crit. I always buff that weapon crit. You can push 75% crit with this build if you're using a pot. It's very nasty. And then we will actually show you with stats. So this is everything just stock. General, no drink on, no buff, nothing. So we have a really low health recovery, but we really don't need high health recovery because I do currently have vigor, so that is a big effect on that, but I also have rally. And rally heals for a crap ton. People don't really think it does, but it really does, especially if you let it tick. So when we're in combat, or not combat, when we're in Sourdough, we're pushing 19k max health with 25k stam, which is very, very good for damage. And it also keeps you from not getting one hit. So the build does help. A lot of the pieces, some of them, I think 2 or 3 do have health on them. That's why we have such high health with max stam, as you can see. And we are a werewolf, and we do have the warrior stone, so we haven't changed any of that. It's just strictly gear and dual wield, pretty much. So now I'm going to buff up real quick, and I'm going to show you what everything changes to. So we switch over, we pop rally, we pop relentless. Oh, hold on. Let's get a drink down for you, too, so you can see that. Alright, So we pop rally, pop relentless, roll dodge, swap character. So 3,278 weapon damage. You'll see it drop down, but that's normal because of the 5-second buff. But even without that, I'm still pushing 2,700. Stam recovery is a solid 2,600. It drops down to 2,400 when relentless runs out. But like I said, if you're PvPing, practice always keeping yourself buffed. It'll help you long term. It really, really will. And as you can see, our health recovery is 831 when we have a pot on or a drink. So that's not bad at all. It's almost 1,000. Very useful. And you can see when we buff too. We'll redo it all here for you. We'll show you the weapon crit here. So 61% weapon crit. Now, if we go down to our drink here, 71.1% weapon crit. Now, if you're feeling really risky, the 5 seconds does affect your weapon crit as well, like I said. So, if you're feeling risky, pop that. You're going to hit like a truck with this build. I guarantee it. It is amazing. But that's the big changes with the gear. I'll quickly cover my skills. Not a huge change here. Basically, surprise attack, ambush, still the same. Flying blade. This was that ability I was telling you about. This is 6. I'll show you the tooltip here, fully buffed. I do gotta get in here quick. As you can see, 6.7k weapon damage, or physical damage. Now, when I'm hitting a target, depending on the physical resistance, depending on if it crits, this averages 7 to 8k. Average. Now, it crits for 10k, and this is an instacast. It's amazing. I really, really recommend, if you can get it, to try this out at least. Give it a shot, see if you like it. For me, it's amazing. I don't have to worry about lethal arrow or anything like that because you hit so hard with this setup that you really, really, really don't need to worry about, debuffing someone's health because they're going to be pushed on the defense if you're landing your combos. And since we don't have poison injection, we have actually put in rending slash. Now, it's an instacast. It's not a huge hard hitter off the bat, but it is a poison. So they are going to take damage over 9 seconds, which is extremely nice, and this does scale after weapon damage as well. So if we buff up here, as you can see, now they're almost getting ticked for 9k over 9 seconds. 1,000 a second, an initial, this does crit too. Be wary of that. It does crit. And then mass hysteria. We do have incap. It's a super hard hitter. I always recommend running it because it's an instacast, and you can animation cancel. This or downbreaker smiting. You could, if you're feeling risky, like you can run down or flawless downbreaker. You'll push 20 or 3,500 weapon damage, but do know that it doesn't hit hard. Flawless does not hit hard, so you will pretty much be giving up an ultimate just to push high weapon damage. Now, you can do that. You can play that way, but I do know my incap hits on average for 10k. It crits for 14k. So this, and same with Dawnbreaker Smiting. That hits on average for 10k against a non-vampire. So those are very, very, very good abilities to run in my opinion, and I would go with one of those. And for our buff bar, we swap this in and out with Shuffle or Evil Hunter. Since we're not running bow, we don't have the movement speed, but we don't need it because we have ambush. So Evil Hunter, why I run that is because on each attack you gain 840 stamina. This helps with 1vxing, helps keeping you alive, keeping you in the fight. And it does help, if you get that proc on a vampire for 15% extra damage. Otherwise, run Shuffle and get that 20% dodge, and then you get 0.5%, 0.5, be wary, 0.5% per piece of medium armor for CC immunity. Then Dark Cloak, Rally, Resolving Vigor. A lot of people don't have that currently, but in the next patch you will. But if you don't have Vigor, just run what I'm running and then slot, Shuffle or slot Double Take. One of those two, just to get that dodge chance. And then Relentless Focus. We run Relentless Focus to buff our stamina. That is the only reason. We don't use it for the Spectral Bow you can proc. It would hit hard if we did, but we don't use it for that reason. It's just for Stam. And then Soul Tether, if we're getting pushed, about to die, sometimes I don't burst my ultimate like most people do. I'll save it. I don't always need to kill somebody with an ultimate. So I'll save it just in case, somebody comes out of nowhere and starts sniping me or something. I can pop this and I can pretty much save my life. It hits hard and it heals you for a ton. So that is what we've currently changed in the build. come check out the stream, guys, if you really want to see it in action. We are doing this and a Stam Templar. That's what we are currently playing over the next couple weeks. So come check it out. I hope you guys enjoy it. Any questions, comment below, and please hit that like button, guys.